Let's bring in the gentleman on the right-hand side of the screen, John Thune, Republican Senator from South Dakota. Mr. Senator, forgive me, but I want to look forward to the next stimulus, and I got some opinions on it. Forgive me for droning on like this. First of all, you got to give liability protection to businesses. Second, you can't give states money to fix pre-existing conditions like pensions. And thirdly, no emergency extension of unemployment special pay, which keeps people at home. What do you say?
I'm with you, Stu. Those are all really good. Those are really good ideas. No, I mean, if we want to get the economy restarted, the liability protection is absolutely critical. And clearly, the taxpayers of this country shouldn't be bailing out bad decisions made by policymakers in places like New York and Illinois and California. And I think with respect to unemployment, you're right. There are incentives that are created, the wrong incentives for people to stay on unemployment. We want to encourage them to go back to work. And so as we structure these programs going forward, we need to make sure that there's an incentive for workers to go back to work, not to stay on unemployment.
Can you get all of that? Because you're going to have to do a deal with the Democrats at some point.
Right. I mean, those are all things that the Democrats are going to be opposed to up here.
Right.
And you know, you saw what happened in the House last week, which was just crazy. I mean, that was, they blew into town for 24 hours and passed a $3 trillion gift bag for a lot of their special interests. And I think what we've, got to focus on are the things that actually are going to help get this economy going again and get those jobs back. And so, but the challenge is going to be, you're right, negotiating with them, it's always going to be about more money and more regulations and more intervention and more government. And that's the challenge that we face in any negotiation, because to get anything out of here, obviously, with a Democrat House and a 60-vote threshold in the Senate, you got to have Democrats vote for it.
Yeah, Mr. Senator, I know you're very hot on bringing the supply chain back to America from China. Please, for our viewers, listen to what the President had to say about that. Roll tape, please.
The pandemic has shown once again the vital importance of economic independence and bringing supply chains back from China and other countries. I probably got elected. One of the primary reasons was that. Make America great again, America first, call it whatever you want. But we went way out of bounds. We build a car and we go to 12 countries to build a car. I want to build a car from one country. We make the parts.
Mr. Senator, that sounds like a new Cold War, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And the President's absolutely right. I think that what we learned in this experience is that if we depend upon these unreliable supply chains in places like China, we're going to be in a world of hurt. And I think standing up those types of capabilities here in the United States, whether it's pharmaceuticals or medical supplies, or for that matter, even food security, this was a lesson. I think we need to take it to heart, and we need to be starting to make changes in terms of how we incentivize American companies to build that capacity here in the United States. And I think that's going to be one of the great takeaways from this, Stu, and I hope that, again, we take it to heart and we move into action to change things.
Yes, sir. Senator John Thune, Republican, South Dakota. Thanks for joining us, sir. Always appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Good to be with you. Thanks, Stu.